So I'll give you a little bit of background before everyone gets to see this. Because most often or not, once we hit that 10-year mark, people start thinking, oh, I'm getting comfortable. We don't need to do it. Would it be anyways helpful? So I think that would help all people like who are in my level and people who are thinking about what should they do next. So I think definitely a background would help. So when I thought of doing an MBA, it was always there in my mind since I've moved into product management. But life happens. You can't plan everything, right? Something or the other comes up and that becomes your priority, and your dreams and aspirations sometimes take a back seat. So that has been happening for me for quite some time now. And unfortunately, I had reached a place in my career where I was feeling more stagnant. Like, how long could I just keep doing product management? And even if I'm doing product management, what's next? When I'm going to become the next head or something, what is that I'm lagging? Sometimes it's like business, sometimes something. It's just because you don't have a degree. And India, at times, when you want to get into senior management roles, they want to have at least an MBA or a master's degree. So that has becoming a blocker for me. So that's when this year I thought, like last year rather, now this is my year. I need to really focus and do what I really wanted to do. So when I started my thinking process, I was already 12 plus years in experience. And so for me, there were a lot of parameters to think. So I come from product journey and product management profile, which people usually want to get into after they do their MBA. So what will I gain after doing an MBA? That was one thing. What's next? And then I already have 12 years of experience. Where do I fit in? I don't fit in with the full-time 2 years where people are, 2 years, 3 years experience, to normally Indian executive MBAs where people are 5 to 7 years of experience. So for me, it was becoming a challenge to understand where do I fit in at the first place. So with everything, and then definitely your ROI and everything comes into picture, right? So for me, first and foremost thing was to think through what I actually want. So I wanted to do an MBA to accelerate my career, get into the next big thing. And also I wanted to do an MBA to get into a better version of myself, because a lot of thing is just not about what you're doing at your work. It's also, completely revises your thinking process, gets into a place where you are thinking more constructively, have a critical thinking mindset. So I actually wanted to have like the better version of the Priya once I do complete my MBA. So that has been my goal. And when I started doing the journey and I started reviewing all the colleges and applicants, I understood that after 12 years of experience, doing an Indian MBA would not be a great investment in myself. The reason being, I was already at a very high salary level, which usually people get after doing an MBA. I was already there. So it's not going to add to my, salary portfolio. It's not going to add to my profile portfolio. So leaving work and doing a full-time MBA was also not in question. It was also in question because do I really want to take that break? Because there's a lot of uncertainties. Would I get a job after that? Would I be able to get the salary that I was getting, or how much increment it would, give me after I do it? So first and foremost thing which people actually think about when doing an MBA after a very long time of their work, once they are getting to workforce, is that what is the ROI going to be? And obviously I also had the same thing in my mind. So that's when I realized that maybe doing a full-time MBA is not something that I want to focus on, because I was not ready to get out of the work stream and then come back. But I actually wanted to do an MBA which is where I have a classroom session where I can sit and I can have a discussion rather than doing it online. So today's you get a lot of online executive MBAs for senior, but I have done online courses and I've seen what is the whole difference it makes when you do an online and an in-person. So I was very, very adamant on doing an in-person. However, a weekend probably kind of executive MBA where I don't have to lose my job as well. And the second thing was that when you do an MBA together with your work, though it is challenging because you have to manage a lot of things, but you can come back and implement immediately. You don't have to wait to get into your workforce to implement them, right? Once you get a job, then you will think that as you are learning, you can correlate and you can start building on top of the things. So it gives you an edge. So it gives you also visibility within the organization. It also gives you faster growth, I believe. So that was my thought. The second thing, because I didn't want it to do a full time, so 2 years was out of question. Then since today I'm currently into gaming and gambling industry, which is for some people is quite interesting, and it's not very common that we always hear about. So for me, I wanted to stay true to the industry and stay within the same domain, and also I wanted to be in the place where the business is happening. Now, all throughout my 12 years, the one thing that I was lagging is international exposure. I have never been outside India and worked with people there. I have worked with MNCs all throughout, but I have never been outside. So that's another third parameter that I had in mind. So I wanted to do executive, which will be in classroom or in person. I wanted to do an MBA, which is 1 year, because I can't do 2 years. I don't want to leave workforce. Then I wanted to do an MBA, which will help me get the international exposure. So Indian MBAs were out of question. Now, the fourth parameter when I was looking into the MBA was that I wanted to do where my office is based out of, or my industry is mostly based out of. Though US is a big major part, by my current organization is based out of London. So that's why I thought that, doing it somewhere in and around London would help me out with the transfer and everything. So that's when the process started, and I started, reviewing all the colleges. The fifth thing that I had kept in mind is that nowadays you have so many MBAs, so many colleges across the world, but it's only the top 10% of the colleges that are really highly recognized. So when you're doing it, do it from the best of the best. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense after these many years of your experience, right? So that's the reason when I jotted down, I had the 5 colleges that I already applied. Now, even though most of the colleges ask you for your executive MBA, which are part-time as well, they ask for something like, a GMAT score. My thought process that there's so many things going on, so I didn't want to completely, focus on getting a GMAT score and only applying for schools. So I thought of looking for colleges which would give me a waiver, or which has like GMAT is not mandatory. So that was the fifth category or fifth parameter that I was looking for while I started my journey of understanding which colleges I want to apply to, where I want to apply to. This is how it started, and then it narrowed down, and I came down to top 5 colleges I wanted to apply to. And that, I think I chose the 3 of them, and then kept the last 2 because they wanted to have GMAT as a mandatory. Of course, I think there are 2 reasons I was looking for a consultant. I somehow feel I should not use the word consultant. I should use the word as a mentor. And in life, anything and everything you do, you if you have a mentor, it always helps. And that's exactly what Shri ma'am, you, and the entire Crack Verbal team did for me. So it was more like, polishing up things and giving me feedback. They feel this is the way you can do it. I remember when speaking with Shri ma'am, I was very, very apprehensive applying for these colleges, and even for LBS for that matter. And she was the one to push me and said, just apply. Let's see what happens. If they reject, it will be rejected. So I think that's one thing where you get a mentorship, coaching on what you should do. And sometimes we are overthinking things and we pull ourselves backwards. So I think when you have a consultant or a mentor or a guide or a coach, they help you push in the right direction. They help you, come out of your ifs and buts. So that's what Crack Verbal did. And the second reason, I think we are always, as I said, I had this option or thinking of doing an MBA for quite some time now, and it always gets pushed back. And when you have someone who is dedicated and pushing you through, then it becomes streamlined, that there is no escape. Okay. So for me, I need somebody sometimes who's going to push me. So for me, that was another reason that I thought of taking up and consultant. Coming to why Crack Verbal, I spoke to a couple of other consulting as well. Okay, but the thing that I like most about Crack Verbal is that from the very beginning, when I spoke to Karthik, to Shri ma'am, they were very open, candid. I had multiple discussion. It was never like, stick to one. I could think, I could read. Sometimes this does take time, but you always get a response back. So from the very beginning, I was very clear what I wanted, and I think Karthik helped me, and then Crystal helped me, and then Sri ma'am was definitely all throughout there, and Sid, my mentor, who was actually my mentor, he was there. So it was just not like one mentor who is already helping you out. It's like the entire team is there to help you out. You were there giving me feedback, so I felt so good. And when I initially had a discussion, I felt the vibe. And sometimes you have to connect with the people that you're going to work with. And I felt the connection. So I felt this is better that I go through. Then I spoke to some of the people who have already had the experience with Crack Bourbon, and all of them gave a very good review. So I thought, okay, this is the right decision and the right step to take forward. And hence Crack Bourbon. And I'm very happy about it. So how I managed, I would definitely say that, it was not easy, because when we are at this stage, when we have 12, 13 years, so we are all in our 30s, where we have like decently senior roles in the organization that we are working in. So we have enough responsibilities as it is. Then you have your personal life, where you might have your family to take care of, with your aging parents, who need you also by their side. So doing everything, taking care of your family responsibilities and your official responsibilities in your office, not very easy. But sometimes if you are very passionate and you think that you need to do something about it, you take out time. That's all. So for me, it always has been, I'm a night owl, so I always take care of everything else. And after everyone is, done with their job and everything is done, I sit down and start writing my sales, preparing, doing my research. And that's how it started. And that is how I think I managed. Sometimes to get good things in your life, you have to work hard. Nothing comes easy. And that's all I would say, that you have to take out time for yourself. If you're not going to take out, nobody else would. So I think we just need to prioritize what we want in my life. I'm also involved in a lot of other activities. I had to take a step back and tell them that, hey, this year I'm not going to be there for you. We can do a lot of things next year or maybe next year, but I have certain other priorities. So you have to say no to certain things as well. But I think, as I said, if you're passionate enough, you would find out time to take it.
Awesome.
Do it. Before I go into interview prep, I think interview prep have been good, because we understand what kind of questions you're going to ask, and we already prepare for it. When I say we, it means Crack Verbal and the applicant who is going to apply for it. So we already prepare for certain things. And by now, when you have like this many years of experience, you already have an experience of explaining things to the other person, whether it's your team, whether it's somebody outside your work. So those things were very normal. But applying itself was very, very, because I remember ESCP and Warwick did not need GMAT as a mandate. It was optional. However, LBS is very stringent on asking for GMAT scores. Okay. And when I initially had a discussion so a lot depends on the college itself. Okay. So when I had an initial discussion with LPS consultant or admission counselor, she was very impressed with my career journey, and she said like, hey Debra, don't worry about GMAT, just apply for it. Let's see if the jury feels that they need your GMAT score, they will ask you either before the interview, during the interview, or even after post-interview, that go and give a GMAT and come back one month later. So I just listened to her and I applied. And I applied for an interview. I was waiting for them to come back and tell me that they need GMAT. And I was very, very skeptical because I hadn't prepared for it. And as we all know, right, you have certain times you have fear, certain times there are work obligations or something or other, and you just don't get time to do it. And you have to make priorities. Which one do you want to do? So that's why I chose first that I'll go for the ones where I don't have to give an GMAT, and let's try that. And then from there, let's go on with the colleges which will. From there, I think the preparation started from the very beginning, because most of the questions they ask is from your essay. So what you write, what you would have already introspect, and you would have already thought, you have polished it so many times that you already know the answer to this. That is how I think we started preparing. So you remember, you also took my mock interview, and I think you also gave me certain feedback around it. And those things really, really helped. And the questions that they asked, they also were pretty much in line. Some of them are behavioral, Some of them are straight out of your essays, some of them are from your experiences. So altogether, I think it was a good mix, and I was almost prepared for it. So I don't think it took a lot of effort. When you are putting effort in writing your essays, I think you are already doing 60% or 70% of the job preparing for your interview. And rest all, I think, is the duties of the interview. I was over the moon, to be very honest. And fortunately, LBS is the one school who gave me my first green light, or acceptance from them. And I was totally not sure, because I knew that there are so many intelligent people across. There are so many people out there who would have given GMAT. Because I spoke to one of the alumni, Crack Verbal, and he is a CFO. I was like thinking, no way that I'm gonna get it. When they gave me acceptance, I was like, wow. I didn't have any words, to be very honest. That's definitely a very good school to look forward to. Warwick was my safe bet out of all of these three. But I almost had my heart set on ESCP from the very beginning, for all of you who have spoken to me, because a couple of reasons. So ESCP is very flexible, first and foremost. So you can do their course online as well as in person. So not necessarily that you have to be there doing they're taking up their classes. So, and they have 6 campuses which you can visit, take up classes to. And for me, I think that is one thing that I was looking for. I was looking for exposure, international, exposure. And that gives me a huge exposure to 6 different cultures, 6 different geographies within European continent. And they also had 2 projects. No other college offer that. So I think they have 2 mandated projects which you have to take up. So I think that was another good point. So keeping everything in mind, I think I'm a bit torn between ESCP and LBS. At this point in time, I have deferred it to September, not January intake. I'm 90% leaning towards ESCP for now. So I did have conversations with alums. Warwick is because, as I told you, right, when you're doing an MBA, you have to do it from the top schools, and that if you are able to do it, all of these schools are actually top 50 schools across the world. So all of them are really great, and it becomes very, very difficult to choose and differentiate one up from the other. My sole reason, I think I was from the very beginning, I was very, very, I think you don't have a lot of people from ECP either, right? Because LBS people know about, Warwick people know about, but ECP, there are very handful of people who know about them. But I think it's one of the oldest B school, and the offering is just not about the recognition that you get from the college, but also the kind of curriculum that you're going to join. So I think that always helps. So I think I would measure London Business School and Warwick in one side, like they're very similar to each other. Whereas ECP have a very different approach, very mixed approach, very flexible, especially for the senior executive MBAs. So I think that's the reason I'm leaning more towards it. I'm pretty certain that you would hear back from me that I'm going to choose it. I think it's always good to go with an open mind, but it always helps when you're prepared. So I have started something, doing some readings about different business school books and different. I mean, I come from product, so usually we have 10,000 things to read already, and there are so many people, putting out information out there. It becomes sometimes overwhelming, but I think books is a good place to start. So what I have decided is that every month I'm going to read one book about one subject, and it will help me give some, certain things will give me clarity, certain things will prepare me for their classes. So I think that's how I'm preparing myself unless I get a green light from my office regarding the transfer. So that's how I'm preparing. Start working with you all too. I know I have bugged Shri ma'am so many times, even late at night. I have pinged Crystal at 8 o'clock. Can we have a connect, please? But you guys have been really, really nice. Thank you so much.